Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Lee Chan from NBC Sports Bay Area. Happy Saturday, everybody. NBA All-Star Weekend happening in San Francisco. But as far as 49ers news, not a ton, although I did see that Brandon Aiyuk was mistakenly pulled over for potentially stealing his unregistered new car. So he bought a Jeep Cherokee or Jeep Trackhawk, so not a Cherokee, Jeep Trackhawk that is pretty spiffy, the engine sounds pretty amazing, actually. He revved it several times. Check out Brent Ayuk's video of it on his own YouTube channel. Um, but yeah, apparently the police officers, he just pulled it off the truck 53 miles on the car. At 55 miles, he was being pulled over. And he had bought the new Ray-Ban glasses, so he was filming the entire thing. Cops thought that he was driving a stolen car because it was unregistered. And then there was apparently another incident in California where he was driving a Dodge Charger where it was unregistered as well. That came up on when they pulled him over, ran his license. So, anyways, Brandon Ayuk is fine, didn't get a ticket, took the car home so he can get it registered and everything appropriately so he can be driving a registered car. But I mean, honestly, um, yeah. Um, I don't even know what to say about that. He wasn't speeding, he wasn't doing anything crazy, so at least he was let go. But just, yeah, kind of an uncomfortable situation to watch. So, um, Josh Williams, who is part of the 49ers scouting department, front office team. He is one of the five finalists for the Jacksonville Jaguars GM position. So Trent Baalke was fired. Ethan Waugh is another one of the finalists. He is the interim GM. Since Trent Baalke was fired, Josh Williams is a finalist as well. So they'll be making their decision in the next coming weeks. But coming up about a week from tomorrow, week from Monday, Scouting Combine opens up in Indianapolis. So I'll be headed there with Matt Maiocco, and we'll be doing podcasts from there, talking to scouting pundits, draft pundits about, what players are going to be potentially going to the 49ers. Who are they going to be interested in? I honestly do think they get a skill player. I don't think they get an offensive lineman. It is not the MO of that front office to do that. They get guys that are athletic and they try to work around what they can do. And they have not taken an offensive lineman in the first round since Mike McGlinchey. And, it's a lot of pressure for an offensive lineman to go in that top round. I think Mike McGlinchey was a really good run blocker, not a great pass protector. And it's funny, I've talked to some coaches, and there's a lot of guys that are either better at one or better at the other. There's rarely a guy who is as good at pass protection as they are at run blocking. And, I think the only time the 49ers do use a first round pick to get an offensive lineman, it will be to draft Trent Williams' successor. So I think that, as long as Trent Williams is healthy and he's given them every indication that he's going to play for another year or two, I think until he decides to hang up his cleats, I think they hold off on drafting a left tackle. That is the only time I think the 49ers will use that top draft pick to take an offensive lineman. I think they do need to shore up the offensive line. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a quick fix. Like, it's rare that a guy like Dominic Puni comes in and has a really good season in his rookie year with Kyle Shanahan. Not because of Kyle Shanahan, but because of the jump from college to the NFL is a really difficult one. It's really hard, and it's a gradual process for offensive linemen to really make a quick impact in their first year. Amazing that Dominic Puni did what he did. On the other side, on the defensive line, a guy like Nick Bosa comes in, rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. And I think on the defensive side, guys can make a bigger impact in their first year. So a defensive lineman is a potential pick at number 11. They have the number 11 overall pick of the 2025 draft. Wow, that was tough to get out. Um, but I do think that they take a skill player. They take a guy who can impact the game quickly, who can come in. And that's what they thought they were going to get in Ricky Pearsall, right? Because they've played the Chiefs. They lost the Super Bowl because they couldn't beat man coverage. And Ricky Pearsall was their answer to that. And if he hadn't had the injuries during training camp, he didn't have, the incident on Labor Day weekend where he was shot. I think he has a much more productive rookie year. I think this year he'll come in his second season and do really well. He's a guy that is a football nerd, loves to study film, and I think he's going to have a much more productive year. I think he's going to um, not be training for the combine, not be training for pro days, so he'll have a full off season where he can stay healthy. I think when it's guys that are preparing for the combine, they do different things. They prepare for the 40, they prepare for, three cone drill and vertical jump, and so they're not preparing to play football. And so when they come into camp, they're maybe not necessarily in as good a football shape as they would have been if they had a regular full off season. So I remember Nick Bosa talking about when he came into his second season, it wasn't recovery from the core muscle surgery and preparing for the combine and preparing for pro days and then visits and all of that stuff flying around. These prospects fly from organization to organization all across the country for their 30 meetings. And it takes a toll. I mean, you think about a guy like Nick Bosa sitting in an airplane seat, and, at that point, they're not, maybe not necessarily flying first class. I don't know what the situation is, but, hopefully they are. But a lot of times traveling takes a toll. So I think a guy like a defensive end would be someone the 49ers might target. Also, a wide receiver with Debo Samuel asking for a trade. Brandon Aiyuk might not be back for the first month of the season. I don't think he tore his Achilles, or sorry, tore his ACL in week 7. So that puts it like in October. So generally, guys, it takes them a full year, or at least close to it, 11 months for them to get back in the swing of playing football. So I don't think Brandon Aiyuk starts week 1. So they've got Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, and Jacob Cowing. They need to either get in a veteran wide receiver, probably in free agency to shore up that group, and then they need to draft another player or two, maybe not with a first round pick, but definitely second day. So I think that's where the 49ers go in the first 2 days of the draft. So with it being a little bit slower news day, tomorrow, maybe I'll do an origin story. Let me know what you'd like to hear. I'll tell you how I got into this job, how I got into this field, and why I'm such a huge football fan. But until then, I'm looking through my phone and the photo album. So let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. I'll post a bunch of shorts as much as you guys want. Let me know who you want to see, what games, and I don't have game footage. We're not allowed to shoot game footage, but I do have pre-game and post-game of every game for the last 11 years. So if there's a player you want to see, something that you have been wondering about, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'll post some shorts. And tomorrow, Sunday, I'll post an origin story. How did JLC become JLC? I mean, my parents named me, but other than that, I'll give you the story about that. All right. Hope you guys are well. Happy Saturday, and I'll talk tomorrow.